Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is when you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. When you are serious about your practice of Orisha lifestyle, when I say serious, I mean you really genuinely want to practice this tradition in order to heal the wounds and the traumas of life, of the experience of life. When you want to fill those gaps between how you think, how you feel, and what you do, and you want everything to be congruent, and you really want to be made whole. Those are the folks that I'm talking to. When you really understand at some level that you're on this quest to be healed. You're not trying to get power. You're not trying to impress somebody else. You're not trying to get any shortcut to the top. You really genuinely want to fix your life. One of the first things that you're going to have to do is weed out all the imposters. And there are lots and lots and lots of imposters in the Orisha space, unfortunately. There are lots of imposters. The overwhelming majority actually are imposters, frauds, and scammers. The overwhelming majority. Now, you're not going to successfully identify these people by going on some kind of a witch hunt to find out whose credentials and who was initiated by who, and none of that's going to work. None of that's going to work. I'm giving you the real. Don't go out looking for frauds. That's one of the ways you can tell who the scammers are. All right. Don't go out there looking for frauds. It's a waste of time and energy. This is what you do. The very first thing you do, like everything else that I'm going to teach you, is you start inside. You start with you. The first thing you do is you identify all the imposters in your own language. You need to identify all of the imposters in your own language, all of the fake words that you use that you cannot substantiate, activate, or realize. Okay? Now, let me tell you how this lesson started to emerge for me. Many years ago, I was talking to a dear friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine. This is someone who I've really known almost my whole life. He's an upstanding, intelligent, progressive, very successful brother, and I respect him. In addition to him just being a lifelong friend, I have a lot of respect for him. And so he asked me what I do. And so I started to tell him what I do. And, I gave it to him in a way that I, understand it, in a way I believe that he would understand. And after, about 10 minutes or so, he's like, okay, I get it. I understand what you're describing overall. I get the big picture. I just have one question that's not clear, and I need you to help me understand. You keep saying spirit and spiritual and the spirit, and, what does that mean exactly? And I thought, what? I was totally taken aback by that, right? Because, yeah, what do you mean? So I started to describe it, though, right? And the more I talked, the more I could hear myself. And the more I could hear myself, the more ridiculous I sounded. And I realized that there were a lot of imposters in my vocabulary. Lots of imposters. Even the way I was using the word spirit, particularly how I was using the word spirit and spiritual. It was really detached from anything actual. And so I had to go back and really, really tease it out and say, what are you talking about when you say this word spirit? What are you actually describing here? Be definitive about what you're telling people. Helped me a lot. And so this is part of what has helped me to identify some of the key words and terminology that we use within Orisha lifestyle that have become imposters in people's vocabulary. Keywords, important words, powerful words that are quickly losing their meaning and significance because the people who use them don't know what they are because they're not actually practicing. One of the key words is destiny. We who are the Ifa devotees and practitioners love to say that Ifa is going to help you, understand and fulfill your destiny. We love to say that. But if you ask these folks, what is destiny? Okay, you said Ifa is going to help me to realize my destiny. Great. What is my destiny? What does destiny mean? And then you listen. And then if they can give you any semblance of a definition of destiny, and then you ask them, okay, now, what are we going to do to help me fulfill my destiny? And you listen to what they tell you you're going to do to fulfill what they call your destiny. And you take those two to your grandfather. You say, Granddaddy, this is what my religious practice is all about. This is what my priest said is destiny. And this is what we're doing to fulfill my destiny. And listen to what your grandfather says. Take it to your grandmother and listen. What does Granny say? After you tell her that this is my destiny and this is what I'm doing to fulfill my destiny, just listen to what Granny says. Listen to their assessment of it. And by your granny and your grandpa, what I mean is talk to elders, people who are 60, 70, 80 years old, who have been around the block multiple times, and tell them what you're doing. And then listen to their assessment of what you've said. That's going to be a fantastic test for if you're dealing with reality or you're dealing with imposters. All right. Another one of the key words that I love to help people to identify in order to get your grounding and for a good reality check is Iwa. Oh, we love to talk about Iwa. Iwa, Iwa, Iwa. I made a video about this the other day. Oh, folks love to say Iwa. But if you ask any of the people who are talking about Iwa, even the ones who are talking about Iwa as character, even those people, I can tell you with almost absolute certainty, none of them will be able to tell you the difference between character and personality. They don't know the difference between character and personality. They don't know the difference between character, personality, and a complex. Between a complex and a persona. Between a persona and a neurosis and a psychosis. They don't know. They don't know. And so if they don't know, how are they going to help you to sort out your character? If they don't know the difference between character and neurosis. They don't know the difference between character and psychosis. They don't know. They can't tell you the difference between character and your persona. They don't know. How are they going to help you sort this out? They cannot. What I want you to understand is that even though when we talk about things that are esoteric and spiritual, they're real. Just like Brooklyn, New York is a real place. Brooklyn, New York is not a concept. It's not an idea. It's an actual location with actual coordinates. And depending on where you're starting, you're going to take a specific set of directions to get to Brooklyn. It's going to take you a specific amount of time to get to Brooklyn, depending on where you are. Destiny is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's not a concept. If a person can't define it for you, how are they going to help you to fulfill it? You need to ask real questions and listen with a discerning ear. Okay? But the real key, like I said, is for you within yourself to check and challenge your own vocabulary. What do you say you're doing? What is the real basis of your actual practice? What are you trying to accomplish? What tools, methodologies, techniques are you using to do what you say you're doing in your practice? then listen to yourself and be honest about how many imposters have crept into your vocabulary and have you running in circles and doing absolutely nothing to bring yourself to a deeper relationship with your truth, with your essence, with your true identity and purpose on this earth. Because if you don't, let me tell you what happens. One of the telltale signs that you have gotten caught up in the fantasy world is then you start getting no results, nothing's happening, no progress, no development, no self-realization. Then you start talking about the witches. Then you start talking about the people who've stolen your destiny. Then you start talking about the people who have seen that you have this power and they see that you've got this ability. They see that you've got this bright future. You haven't done nothing. You haven't accomplished nothing. You haven't shown even the tiniest glimmer of promise, to be totally honest and blunt. But the spin masters are going to tell you they can see your glow. And they're trying to hijack your energy. They're trying to steal your ashe. And then they'll have you out there saying that to other people in public. These are one of the telltale symptoms of imposters in your vocabulary. And imposters, this vocabulary has been given to you by imposters in your actual environment. Challenge yourself to get real. Weed out all the imposters from your vocabulary. Don't say no more fake words. Speak real. Use definitive terminology. Use definitive actual steps that will help you to realize that terminology. You need to be able to draw a straight line between what you're doing and what you're saying you're going to accomplish. If you can't do that, chances are you've got some imposters in your vocabulary. And if you look at where you got that language from, chances are that those imposters in your vocabulary came from imposters in your environment. You need to weed them out. You need to weed them out for your own well-being. Okay? Now, this is a lesson for the leaders. I'm talking to the people who are serious and sober-minded about bringing about positive influence, about really changing their lives, about really changing the environment that they live in. If you're one of those people, then I want you to find out how Oloye Obafemi Origunwa and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your actual practice and your actual life to the highest level possible. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com and let's start taking real steps to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you're destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odabo.